Hello, everybody, from Gibbs Stadium in Spartanburg. It's time for another edition of Inside Wofford Football with Terrier head coach Sean Watson. Well, a tough one on the road this weekend. A very, very good Chattanooga Mock team blew it open in the second half and posted a 37-5 win against Wofford. Terriers now 3-4 on this season. You know, Coach, every team in America goes through adversity at some point in the season. Nobody gets through that unscathed. What do you tell your guys that might be a little down in the dumps after the way that second half went? Build them back up and get them ready with a lot more football left to play this season.
Yeah, well, number one, you keep working. That's number one. You keep working. And number two, you fix the things that need to be fixed. And that's our job, obviously, to find those things, point those things out, and our job to coach them. So it starts with coaching. And then, same thing I told the players yesterday, I'll tell you, it's keep working. We're a good football team. We can fix the things that are our issues, and we just have to, number one, we've got to take care of the football.
Sure.
We take care of the football and, clean that part up, we can go a long way for us to play winning football.
Mm-hmm. Got a lot to get to over the course of the next couple of segments. We will look back at the Chattanooga game, ahead to a big homecoming matchup with East Tennessee State here at Gibbs Stadium, and update the quarterback situation for the Terriers as well. It's all ahead here on Inside Wofford Football, brought to you by Yokohama.
It doesn't matter if you're 8 years old or 80 years old, your body is your strongest tool. Spartanburg Regional Sports Medicine Institute is here to push you to the next level. With 2 convenient locations, our doctors can diagnose, treat, and heal at our North Grove Medical Park and Star Center offices to get you back in the gym, in the game, and to the next level. We never quit because you never quit. For more information, call 560-BONE.
So Wofford made the long and sometimes adventurous trip over to Chattanooga. No direct way to get there right now. Trust me on that one, folks. And waiting for Wofford, you had told us all week, very impressed with Chattanooga, very impressed with Rusty Wright. He's never had a losing record in 5.5 years there at Chattanooga. Going into the game, Coach, what was your biggest concern about the Mocs and what they brought to the table?
Well, we knew they were a good football team, obviously. They're good on both sides of the ball, all the way across the ball. They wanted to run the football with their wide zone game, and then, their tight zone RPO game is something we had to manage, and then hold up against their shot plays, which I thought our defense did an excellent job of doing those. Doing that. We let them have a big play on a scramble, but overall, I thought they did a really good job with that. And then, I felt like they're okay running the football and punting if they have to, because they have a great defense. And then first half we were we're hanging in there with them, and we were finding our way. Both sides of the ball, really finding our way, executing a game plan, and then we turned over the football, and you can't do that against a good football team.
As we pick up the highlights, Wofford won the toss, elected to defer. Chattanooga got the ball first, but the Terrier defense made the first big play of the game.
Surge, just enough of it to get 4.5 yards.
Davis again on second time. Head of the backfield, the ball's on the ground. Did Wofford jump on it? Boyles is saying they did, and it's still loose. They're still scrambling. Absolutely nothing from the referees, but it looks like it's going to be Wofford football. Anthony Latney with the fumble force and recovery. Wofford held to a field goal. You're up 3-0, but at least you knew your defense had come to play.
Yeah, the guys always do. They're a great unit, and they've done a nice job all year for us. And as a really good play by Lat, he made the play, and he also got the strip and the recovery.
The remainder of the first half was kind of interesting. The offense was struggling. The defense was doing what they do. They got into the red zone and held them to a field goal. It was kind of like a rock fight there for a while. As that half was progressing, what was coming to mind in terms of things that you were going to try to adjust perhaps at halftime?
We just, number one, we needed to, find our run game, which we ended up finding. And we had to, take some of the pressure off our quarterbacks. We're not throwing the ball, and we had an opportunity to, hit some shot plays on them, and we were able to, find those things a little bit later on in the game. But again, the turnovers are a thing that really got to us.
Yeah, in the first half, that wasn't a big factor. In fact, Wofford once again stepped up with a score 10-3 in the second quarter and made another huge play on defense. At Chattanooga backed up now on their own one. First down and 10. It is a handoff. Oh, did they get him? No, they're going to say that Davis just barely broke the play to the goal line. He was hit by close. A couple of Terriers, almost a safety. They're still looking.
Yeah, they're taking their time.
So they've already looked. Now they've made a decision.
After video review, the runner did not make it out of the goal line, and the ruling is a safety.
All right, guys.
There you go, a little momentum.
How about that? Wofford gets the safety, and it puts 2 points on the board. Great young combination there. Marion Smokes and Javario Tinch. You're talking about a true freshman and a redshirt freshman combining, and again, two guys who have had to step up and really making the most of an opportunity for them.
Yeah, because of injury, those guys have stepped up, and Marion's played really good for 2 weeks now, so he's got a bright future ahead of us. And Javario finally, he's got quality reps in this game. In other words, he played quite a bit, and he did a good job also.
So it's 10-5 at halftime. You come out of the locker room in the third quarter, you're feeling pretty good about yourself in terms of hanging right there with them. And then things start to go south, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The interceptions start to pile up. Were there things that Paulie Seeley wasn't seeing? Was it just more execution? When you break down the offensive struggles in the second half, what's the first thing that jumps to mind?
Well, number one, it was, just working your way through your progression and not, we have some reads where we work across the board, we call them across the board reads, ATBs, and, you got to keep working across. You can't stop. And, we had a ball placement error that was a touchdown. So we've got, it's when you say execution, yes, it's executing the scheme, yes, and then also executing things like ball placement.
Yeah, the defense was put on the field time and time again, and they were starting to wear down a little bit. And Chattanooga, I think you alluded to it earlier, they just kind of did what they do. They had a lead. The clock was their friend. They just ran the ball, didn't have to do much else, and eventually just kind of wore your defense down a bit, I thought.
Well, that's their style of play. They do that to everybody. They are, that they're gonna run the ball. I think their quarterback hasn't been asked to throw the ball that much this year because they are really good up front, and they've got a stable of backs, and they're gonna ride those guys.
Unfortunately for Wofford, a pick six ended the scoring. It turns out to be 37-5 Chattanooga, the final. A couple of bright spots. I thought that the special teams markedly better this week. I know you and Mitch Doolittle work closely on that. Really seemed to be tightened up. Sam Spence got a couple of good rolls too, and backed him up a couple times, really leading to that safety, I thought. And penalties were cleaned up as well.
Yeah, we cleaned some things up, but we got to clean up the big things. We had again the turnovers, number one thing, and then secondly we had some opportunities both sides of the ball to finish some big plays, whether it be a throw or it be just a little bit more strain and a pick or a strain and a catch. So we've got to keep coaching the effort part of it, because the guys are in position, and we just got to finish. We got to coach finish, and we've got to coach cleaning up the details, and that really speaks a lot to the turnover thing.
All right, another week, another opportunity. When we come back, we will preview the big homecoming game with ETSU. That's next here on Inside Wofford Football.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Black and gold. Bold. A victory story about to be told. Grit, toughness, and tenacity. A hub of hard work in Hub City. We're on these wins like dogs on a bone. In the zone, our place, in your face, won't leave you alone. Strength, speed, fire, true. I'm sorry, do these things trouble you? We're Wofford College. We fly the W. Ingalls, proud partner of the Wofford Terriers.
Your Wofford experience starts here. And like the generations who have come before, you choose where it takes you.
What's up from Copenhagen?
Experience Wofford.
And welcome back to Inside Wofford Football, brought to you by Yokohama. 2 p.m. Saturday, Gibbs Stadium right behind us. ETSU, the East Tennessee State Buccaneers, come to town. They're coming off a bye week, which is always a little bit of an advantage for the team to get rested, healthy, and look at all kinds of tape on you. First-year head coach and Trey Lamb brought over a lot of guys from outside the program. What has stood out to you in your very early look at ETSU?
They're good. They're good at both sides of the ball all the way across the board. You know, they've gotten a big shot in the arm with a bunch of guys that they've brought in. So, you know, they're a really good football team. I think their quarterback is a great talent. I think they have really good running backs. They've got a great receiver plus a good core of receivers, a really good, nasty, salty offensive line. And then defensively, you know, they're one of the best back ends that we'll see. Their secondary is really good football players. And then, you know, they're good in the second level and the first level of their defense too. So, you know, they're good all the way across the board. They're a really good football team.
Speaking of quarterbacks, our original starter, Amari Odom, has now missed 3 games. I know you told us last week he was starting to get back into it. Bryce Corriston came in the fourth quarter of the Chattanooga game. Eric Hanley and Paulie Seeley are still there trying to impress and improve. Where does the open quarterback situation stand? Understanding we talk about this fairly early in the week, and there's a lot of practice before Saturday.
Right. We've got to open it up and see what our who is going to perform best. I mean, bottom line, that's where we're at. The good thing is we've got Amari closer to where he's been. He threw a little bit last week at the end of the week. This week he'll throw the entire week. We'll have a chance to have him seen by our doctors, and we'll get a feel for where he's at early in the week and what it looks like for this week for him. But he'll be back soon. And then Bryce is back. He's timed up. We had a little arm issue that we've got, or shoulder issue. We basically got him through, and he's healthy now. So, and he gives us a nice option. He gives us some other options other than just being a quarterback. And then I think the young guy, we got to take a look at him. We got to see what he can do for us and where he would stack up with inside those other 3 guys, the 3 veteran players.
At this point of the season, do redshirt concerns factor into it as far as who's played 4 games, who you might want to save a redshirt, or is it all about winning football games right now?
It's about winning football games and developing the roster for the future. So that's why you see some of our freshmen playing that haven't played. We're getting close to that. They get 4 games free, right. So we're going to play them in 4 games, and we're going to see what we have and see how that may impact the rest of the season. We've done that with guys like Marion a little bit earlier, some out of necessity, but we also, we've played Caleb Oliver. We played some guys that, we want to get a look at. That if we get a year of experience, there'll be a better sophomore as opposed to a redshirt freshman because they've played. So we'll do some of that.
Hey, final question for you. Homecoming is always fun because we get to see a lot of former players, alumni. With everything that's on your plate, are you able to connect with former players at all and kind of learn about the history? You've done a lot of that, obviously, in your first few years here, but is that something you're able to do with everything else you got to worry about?
No, we've an open door policy here. It's great having John and Devin on the staff because those guys bring a lot of guys to our building. We want the former players to always feel like this is theirs because it is. This is their building, their program. They are our history. They are our tradition. So I love getting our players around them. We have some great alumni out there that have been very gracious to us, and we very much appreciate them.
Well, we look forward to homecoming. We always appreciate your time. Get after them this week, and we'll see you on Saturday at Gibbs Stadium.
All right.
All right, as always, we appreciate Sean Watson joining us. We appreciate you watching as well. And we will see you next week right here on Inside Wofford Football.